second, third and fourth. Felix Luding in 76 is just 3.5 seconds down now, but he's busy day in the office. He's got Ethan Griggold and Nickel Foggy looking better and better on his tail. And for Foggy and the class leader Kaitis Sayer, they should be fairly tired. They've done the race from the outset, and all of these drivers who've been running in what was the 7-car pack. You talk about it being like the precision performance driving demonstration, but you know full well, because they've been side by side since the start of the race, they've got good Parrot on one shoulder, or Devil if you will, and Angel on the other, saying go for the move, hold back. It's a 24-hour race, and they've been very, very controlled, with the exception of one of the drivers, Cedric Needleseat, being spat out onto the grass as they approached the Tiergarten on one lap. Everyone's behaved very, very well at TCR. It's been great racing.
Still holding on these three. There's no quarter at Stock given, is there? Keep an eye on this, and we are going to keep an eye on this. We won't break away, but let me just tell you what's going on at the front of the field. Jonas Valmeyer, by 25 seconds near enough now, leads for the Ferrari team red line, 71. Then it's BS competition. Alexander Voss, who hasn't been able to pull that gap down, 2 seconds away the last time around on the leader, and that gap then going out a wee bit. 6 seconds between second and third. Ferrari 488, the red line white car with Patrick Christoph Moser, the 72 car. The top six made up by Niels Kopp, who's a couple of seconds further back in the second of the BMWs. That's the number 7 BS competition. Then Augustin Canapino, the Argentinian driver from Marla Racing team in the Audi, he's another 4 seconds further back, and making up the top 6 again, another 4 seconds further back. The MSI Esports Ferrari, Mark Perez in the 75 car. Best of the Mercedes outside the top 10 now, MB Esports Racing, and that's Martin Christensen, and he is some minute and 46 seconds out away from the leader, but has just put that car's fastest lap in last time around with an 8:06.8. Fastest lap of the race overall in SP9 GT is the 8:03.0 put in earlier on by the number 71 team red line black car. So that's what's going on at the front of the field. You're not missing anything there. Porsche 911s, let's check in on those cars. 14th now for Johan Haaf, who leads that class by about 14 seconds from Marcus Sierra for Alpine Eagle Racing in the 327. Then Daniel Lafuente for R8G Esports, excuse me, and he's another second or so further back, so there is a bit of a battle for second in that category. Behind them, it's Gianni Vecchio for Porsche 24 driven by Redline, Team Redline Cup. Marcus Jensen is next in the 69, and Norbert Leitner for HM Engineering. He makes up the top 5. So still plenty of battling going on when you consider we've barely gone through in fact we haven't gone through 2.5 hours yet. Nick Damon will be joining us in about an hour and a half, and will allow Bruce to take a breather until tomorrow. Overnight, we hand over to the real experts. Yeah, of course we do. When it gets tricky and we can't see what's going on, we're going to give it to the experts. Sorry, guys. The race spot guys will be taking over for the middle 12 hours and taking you through. It's when everything happens. Now we'll have a quick roundup in the morning before we head towards the finish of the race. Drop in when you can, and don't forget there's live timing and scoring, including the strategy software on the event page. You can reach that from radiolemans.com, or you can go and watch on the usual Twitch feeds and also the race spot pages as well. So plenty of ways to stay in touch. So Bruce, the takeaway for me early on then is the tyre strategy at the front of the field, which you would say now appeared not to pay off the BS competition, given that they're staring down the barrel of half a minute as a disadvantage, half a minute in arrears of the cars that the leader that took tyres at each of the stops.
Yes, I mean, I really expected in this stint the BS competition cars to pick up the pace, but even at this point, with tyres that have got more life than their leading Ferrari, Alexander Voss is losing 2 seconds a lap. And I didn't expect that at all. I thought we'd see it really come back down. But let's see, 16 laps, they've still got half this stint to go, 16 laps on the board. Don't forget, of course, that Ferrari came in from the lead, 71, but it made its second pit stop after 13 laps. The rivals all went on for another extra tour, an extra near 25. Kilometers, but what I'm not seeing from Voss is a drop down, an increase of his pace, a reduction of his lap time. Coming up to complete his 18th lap now, he's 25.5 seconds down. Just want to see what his lap time is. Go through. It's an 8-minute 5 second, but I think falling away very slightly. The best second of the Ferraris. Oh, 8 minutes 7. So again, another 2.5 seconds lost that lap. It should be going the other way. So it shows what a great drive it is from Valmeyer. But it was laid bare, John, was it not, when we had the different tactics? Full set of I mean, change the tyres after the first stint or the second, in the case of Ferrari after both. And it seems Ferrari and Redline have got it right.
What's amazing to me is how, relatively speaking, quiet it's been for passing traffic. We haven't yet seen that clumping effect. Now, I know we've got far fewer cars here than we would have in real world racing, although the battle's still going on, even down towards the bottom half the top 10, with the 7th place Bela team, Euronics and Williams eSports cars battling together. I can't somehow get Bela near and a Ferrari to work together, so not sure whether that's anything to do with Frank at all. But Williams eSports with Josh Thompson sitting in behind in that white and blue Ferrari. As I say, Bruce, we're not seeing some of that clumping that we see even in the 3-hour races, where the leaders have to fight their way through groups of battling supporting class cars. They've not had a bad run so far, the leaders.
Except for one 7-car Gagam and CCR cars. That's the only real fight that they've hit. And of course that was a battle that was covered by, what, 2.5 seconds from 1st to 7th. But the race leader at the time, Lauren Heinrich, lost a bit of time, lost 2 or 3 seconds, one would suggest. But you're quite right, it seems extraordinary. You never get an even spread of cars around any circuit. And somewhere like the Nordschleife, you can lose so much time if you've got a slower gaggle up in front. If you're at many seconds on this circuit where one corner follows straight after another, if they're fighting, they don't always see you. But I think it's been good and nothing has really been interrupted. And really, it is all about the red line black. And we'll have to see what the tactic is as they're at their 3rd set of pit stops. Because at the moment, the gap is 24 seconds, 25 seconds. I've looked up, it's 27 seconds. So all the time it's going out. But yeah, it's been a really, really clean run.
Battle for second position that we were talking about a little while in the Porsche 911 Cup class. It has come down from the, what, 2.5 that we were talking about to about half the length of the 911. At the moment, the Alpine Eagles racing car's got RNG right behind Daniel Lafuente, really making his presence felt in that battle for 2nd and 3rd. As they go through the far side of the circuit, it's Marcus Girard for Alpine Eagle Racing, isn't it? Johan Half, by the way, is 14 seconds further up the road as these two come out of the second, the Kleine carousel, the little carousel, and head on to the Dottinger Hohe through the Gallows Head corner, Gallows Hill corner rather. Now they've got another Porsche ahead of them, which I think is one of the Cayman Cup cars. Yes, it is. Which way do you go, left or right? Fortunately, the car being passed does exactly what they're told to do, and hold their line. That's the same in sim racing as well. No strange movements, but it's now going to be side by side. The draft has run out of steam. Who gets the corner? Slight advantage to Lafuente as he goes underneath the Bilstein bridge. Now, can he hold it up the hill? He's got to get clear before the second part of Tiergarten. Can't do it. Can't do it. Flashes his lights in. Some kind of frustration there. Just couldn't hold on the throttle for long enough. He was slightly off the optimum line as he came into the right-handed part and back on the start-finish line. These guys are enjoying themselves. It might be early on, but it's still very much an enjoyable run down towards turn one. Down the inside, Lafuente has another go, and he might put himself in a good position here. If he can hold on there, he can run out wide and take the inside for the second part of that cut through that they use solely in the Nürburgring 24 hours. And that was Lafuente trying not once but twice, and that persistence paid off. Bruce Jones.
Very, very impressive. And again, we will talk about this. We talked about it before. The simple fact that these cars, when you get very, very close to a rival, your vision isn't as good as it would be in a real-time car. And I think that was a remarkably good, very tidy going past the Cayman as they dived down into turn one, and yet they were so precise. So these drivers absolutely at the top of their game. And for the pro racing drivers who are coming across to virtual racing, they have so much to learn. But hey, there's no surprise, they're very, very quick learners. And if you can have a driver coach, someone who knows iRacing inside out, well, you're going to gain faster and experience than if you don't. So every driver is achieving all they possibly can, but it takes a lot of input to get this good. And certainly for a driver like the driver of number 211, Daniel Lafuente, it's been time well spent, one would say, on the sim.
I had a long chat at a respectable distance of 6'6", 2 metres, with Matt Griffin, who doesn't live too far away from me. He's walking the family dog past the front of the house here a couple of days ago. More than that now.
Is it a quick dog?
Of course it is. He wouldn't have anything else, would he? And he and I ended up talking. He was one of the chaps actually that was telling me about replacing his TV for a faster refresh rate monitor. But he was also saying that he's been doing some online events as well. And he did one at, I think he said it was Silverstone, so a track that he knows pretty well in the real world. And there was 24 hours worth of practice. You know, opened up at 8 time one day, closed at 8 time the next day. So he decided, right, I'm going to take this seriously. Went and did 3 hours worth of testing, then nipped off and had his dinner, and then did another hour and a half or so. Then the next, knocked it on the head for that day. Next day went out and did a bit more. And he said he reckoned he'd done probably somewhere over 400 laps of Silverstone for this thing, and then he goes into qualifying and he's 1.2 seconds off the pace, and he's like, wow, where's that time gone? And he spoke to one of the other competitors and said, yeah, but the lad who's on pole position did 1,200 laps, Matt. That's why he has refined every bit of the setup on the car, on himself, on his rig, and he's tried it in different conditions. You know, anything that he could do, he would have changed the setup, he would have changed the tyre pressures, etc, etc, etc. And that's the difference. So out of one 24-hour period, the pole sitter had spent 18 and a half hours, give or take, pounding round Silverstone. Of course, you're not using any reason your pit crew up for when you talk about commitment. Bruce talks about commitment. That's what he's taught by accident. And if you don't believe me, kind of racing against real people on a console game, that's one thing. Steering wheels and a pedal, there's another thing. Then you get on a sim like iRacing, and you have gone through another massive quantum shift in how much you've got to work. And just because it's wheels and a pedal doesn't mean it's going to be exactly like the car. Of course, it's the most transferable of skills of any real-world to online sport, because if you're playing FIFA or you're playing NBA Y2K and you're not actually kicking or holding the ball, whereas in motor racing and in iRacing, of course, you are steering wheel pedals. But even so, there are nuances to driving in the virtual world that, as we keep pointing out, is different. So do not underestimate some of these names who you might not have heard before. Do not underestimate how big a names these guys are in their sim world and how dedicated they are in terms of how much time they've put into this. And some of them, Bruce Jones, quite a lot of these names, will be earning money, decent money, not Formula One driver type money, but they will be earning money as being a works driver in the virtual world, as you would do a works driver in the real world. Simple as that. And if you're a works driver for anybody, doesn't matter whether it's Formula One driver, a Toyota driver, a GT driver, a TCR driver. If you're a works driver in any form of motorsport, you are recognised as being very good at your job. You don't get that by accident.
Exactly so. And just listening to your excellent explanation there, John, there's one concern I have. Who walks back Griffin's dog now, then?
Ah, well, yes. No, he's out there every morning.
Yes. OK. Just been watching what we've had. The third place Ferrari, Patrick Christoph Moser, been setting some really impressive lap times. He closed within about 3.5 seconds of Alexander Voss's BMW, but now he's having to look in his mirrors. He's got the second BS competition car, the BMW with Niels Koch at the wheel. That's the one with the red rather than the blue colour down half of its bonnet, and they're covered by just 0.3 of a second. So Niels Koch coming very, very good indeed. But all the time, our race leader, Jonas Waldmeier, just stretching his legs. We thought the interval would come down between himself and Alexander Voss, but Alexander Voss losing ground, 2 cars behind, catching up. So Moser hasn't been able to predict this pace very well yet.
No, Moser at 808 last time around, after, as you say, closing up to Alexander Voss. But then an 808 that has put him back in the clutches. Nobody with the pace at the moment of the leader. 8:04.7 for Jonas Waldmeier, and his lead sits now at nearly 29 seconds. Then Alexander Voss 8:07 last time around, 8:08 as we mentioned for Moser, and that has brought the BMW into play again with an 8:05.9, 8:06 for Agustin Canapino, the 186, the white and green Marla Racing team. He's got 5 seconds to make up on the guys 8.6. He's got 3.5 seconds on Mark Perez in the MSI Esports for Josh Thompson. But he starts with just what has one extra lap, which is where everyone else can go.
Yeah, that's 7 laps at the norm, but if it's 52 sets of 7, that currently did a 7 followed by
7 and a 6. That was Maxi Benecke, yeah.
Who is leading the race. Correct. Right. Of course, that was around without the number on his monitor, but the one isn't there. He's part of the fourth battle. Moser and Niels Koch diving past, and where the monitor is one of the Cayman class.
I think that was the 28 of Jonathan Ipart when the OTR Esport E2G came in. He's a couple of laps. It's a lap down on his class leader. Yeah. Do you think then, do we think, get this out, I'm trying to form a sentence in my head before I started, that was a bad word. Do we think then that Team Red Line Black, the leaders, Jonas Waldmeier's team, do you think that was deliberate to get him out in the clear air and get a good run? Because quite clearly, Maxi is, he is the yardstick by which everyone else is judged in this sport, Bruce. So unless there was a problem with the car, which they didn't have an overlong pit stop because, they didn't need it. So, oops. And was that a touch there between the 71, the leader, Waldmeier, and that was the Sim RC second place machine in TCR.
It was close. I don't know if there was a touch, but
the TCR definitely hit the arm core. So maybe just a little intimidating online as they were coming up towards Malucci. Do we think the leaders then made a strategic decision to take their, presumably what you have to see is their best driver out of the car and put Jonas in? Clearly, Jonas is by no means a rabbit, and he's got a fabulous rating as well, and he's done absolutely brilliantly well. But that did give him an advantage when he came back around. He had both a time advantage and an advantage that he had warmer tyres. So he wasn't really going to be hassled by the BMWs at all. He got a chance to settle in.
I think, quite simply, there was our first pit stop suitable from Beneker in that 71 Ferrari was 8.5 seconds good. Of course, they had to then come up the order again because they fell behind the BMWs that didn't take on new tyres for their pit stop. Traffic was kind to them, but I still thought he'd have gone to the end of lap 14 before making the driver change second pit stop to Jonas Valmeyer, but can't quite get my head around it actually, because they weren't close enough to really have to jockey the position. 8.5 seconds was good after the second pit stops. It was 15.5 seconds, so they had a time interval to play with, but I don't know, it's not even a case of being cautious. I don't understand why they came in on that lap, but whatever tactic it was, it's worked very well. They had an advantage in the first stint, the second stint, and now in the third, so things are going well.
Yeah, don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that at all. So Valmeyer then on the long Dottinger hole with the local roads running parallel to it. Bridge up towards the Tiergarten. So again, there's a bridge in that area as well. This road's going, and you've got the big this time to complete lap number 19. That was a slower lap, an 8:08 for the leader, and that all down to that little potentially disastrous encounter with what I'm pretty sure was the second place TCR runner, Felix Lüding, in the Sim RC number 76, bright yellow TCR Audi.
Well, we didn't see them the whole way around the lap. Just bear in mind, the drivers always talk about damage.
No, it is
slowed far more than you realise.
It definitely was, because Lüding has now lost a load of ground, and that means that Ethan Grigg-Gault is right behind him in the blue and white car, and I'm pretty certain he's scraped the left-hand side of that normally immaculate number 76 down the Armcourt as they were coming up on the approach to Blunchen. Very fast part of the circuit there. The rear wing still looks intact. Again, we don't always see the exact modelling on the exterior surfaces of the damage, but there's definitely a wee scrape, I think, on the left rear quarter and on the boxy arches of these TCRs. I think there's just a bit of pin taken off.
John, I just looked at his lap time, it's absolutely on. Okay. He's got plenty of pressure from Ethan Grigg-Gault, who was only just behind him anyhow. But look who's in, tucked in behind. Alexander Voss in the second.
Got to make it down the inside.
The open race, has he been left enough space? Well, just about. Felix Lüding was trying to defend his line from the driver behind. If he hadn't seen the BMW, I wouldn't have thought. Better lap, in fact, from Alexander Voss. It's his turn to take 2 seconds out of the race leader, but it's only 26, down to 27 seconds now. So he's the one with the tyre advantage at the end of this third stint in the race. But again, gaggles of traffic like that, they can cost you as much as you can gain around the course of the lap in the space of a couple of corners.
Yeah, the left-hand side of that car does look pretty pristine, to be honest. Welcome along if you are just joining us. It's Bruce Jones, I'm John Hindhaugh in the RSL Broadcast Centre. Coming up to 2 hours and 3/4 completed. Panther fuels on the bonnet of Ethan Grigg-Gault, Real World Company, who've been involved in endurance racing with Creventic as a fuel supplier, as they head towards the end of the Hatson back. And just hear the Audi engine, just as the front wheels lose grip, through goes the Ferrari. And right in behind the Ferrari is BS Competition. That's Christoph Moser and Niels Koch, and they're battling for third position. Koch in the car that will be taken up by Bruno Spengler later on in the race. Third and fourth then coming through the TCR battle, and the cloud has thickened, and I just wonder if that's affecting track temperatures at certain parts of the circuit. It is 6:30 Central European time, and remember, the iRacing model is sensitive enough to know what time the sun goes down. It's sensitive to know the prevailing weather conditions on average for this time of the year in the Eifel Mountains, where the track is situated. Although we can't actually get rain, we can get fog, and we have had fog. The first round of the DNLS, powered by VCO, was very foggy indeed. Sunshine.
Well, it's 6:30, the verts are on the barbecue all around the circuit, so is it accurate enough to put the smell, that wonderful smell of green meat, into the driver's nostrils? I wish I hadn't said that now. I feel terribly hungry.
It's a long time since breakfast. I've just realised that I eschewed lunch, and I think that might have been a mistake.
Error.
There was no virtual